Well, this will be hunting trip number 4 for the 2019 spring turkey hunt, and this will be my last weekend. I have a feeling though that I'll be adding another tag to my collection of unfilled tags. Needless to say, my expectations are pretty low this late in the season. But you never know. I think in the back of my mind, I'm viewing this trip as more of a pre-season scout for next year. This time I'm driving an hour and a half south instead of 3.5 hours east. I love driving 113 miles only to find a locked gate, keeping me out from where I need to be. So, looks like I need to either come up with a plan B or figure out if I can walk all the rest of the way in there, which I don't think I can. It's pretty far in there. Damn it! Why? Why? As the saying goes, no good plan survives first contact. The only good thing about this is that I won't see any other campers back here, so there'll be less traffic. I yanked my fancy turkey chair out of my vest because I'm just gonna drop weight. I'm going to guess it's about 6 miles, so I got about a 12-mile hike round trip, not counting the time I spent scouting. Trying to locate. So, I don't know where I'll be camping tonight. But this sucks. I don't know what brainiac left that gate locked. Well, I have to make a decision here. Because it's looking like the walk into the area I had in mind is a lot further than I was thinking. So my choices right now are either I keep going to my primary area, which is First Creek, or I can poke around my secondary area, which is Second Creek. I'm not sure, but I thought I heard a gobble way off at a distance. Somewhere down there, seemingly in an area I already hiked through. So, do I just go back down and work Second Creek? Or do I keep going to First Creek? I don't know, I'll just keep going for a little while longer to see how I feel about it. If I don't make good progress, then I'll head back and work Second Creek. Well, my choices have become a little bit more clear to me. I think my choices come down to this. I can spend most of my day walking to and from First Creek, or I could spend most of my day hunting Second Creek and possibly Cottonwood Creek. And I'm not positive, but I thought I heard a gobble down that way, down back where I came from. It's about 8 o'clock. So, I think I'm going to have to cut my losses and hunt Second Creek and Cottonwood Creek for want of a four-wheeler. Yeah, I'm not going to hear the end of this one from my wife now. No, I don't need the four-wheeler. I can do fine without. Yeah, I can do just fine without it so long as the road is open. But if the road ain't open, I'm kind of SOL if it's too far, and it's looking like it's a little bit too far. Only because I'll spend most of my day walking and not hunting. Alright, I'm gonna head back. This is not working out to be a good trip at all, not even as a scouting trip, just because of that stinking locked gate. Why the hell is that gate still locked? That really, really screws me up. Sometimes going on foot has its rewards. Those might be from this morning. Maybe. There's another one right there. Of course, so the name of the creek is Cottonwood. I like cottonwoods. They make great roosts. This is a big one. Heck of a roost area, wouldn't it? You figure they could glide in either from that side, from up there, or from up there. I'm assuming this road's been closed for, well, since last fall or winter, except for the property owners who obviously have keys. So there shouldn't be too much traffic on this road, so if they were to roost around here, they might still be here. I'm wondering if I should come back tonight and see if anything flies in. I just have to say, that lock gate really got my goat. There's a 4Runner, and there's that lock gate where I was parked right there. I'm now on the other side of it. I had to go 30 miles out of my way, but I got around it. I just wish I had figured that out earlier, before I wasted three quarters of my day. I love my Onyx maps. I don't know why the Forest Service got that lock, but I suspect it's to keep everybody camping in that one canyon back there. Because there are a lot of campers in there. They're just crazy. Well, now I can continue with my original plan. I think I'm going to drive up there, up to First Creek, and check it out. And check out the road conditions. It's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow, so if the road looks a little bit too bad, then I might come back down and park out on the main road where it's easier for me to get out. Good thing this SUV is just slightly wider than a side-by-side. Seriously. This is definitely as far as I go with the 4Runner. I have come to the conclusion that the Forest Service likes giving stubborn, pig-headed guys like me a really hard time. Yeah, there's no driving around this gate. If I ever come back here, I'm definitely going to have to take the four-wheeler with me. Sheesh. Okay, well, I guess I'm walking the rest of the way. See about hunting here in the evening. And I'm going to drive back down and babysit some tall cottonwoods at around dusk just to see if everything flies in them. But I definitely want to get out of here before nightfall, because sometime tonight and tomorrow is supposed to rain, and I don't think I want to do that road with mud. I haven't seen anything yet. I did see some old tracks on the road. But this is some amazingly good habitat. There's got to be all kinds of berries and bugs and wildflowers to eat on. This is some amazingly good habitat. All it needs now is some roostable trees. Plenty of cover, plenty of water, plenty of feed, plenty of grub. I like what I'm seeing thus far. We're not quite into the upper valley just yet, but we're almost there and it looks really good so far. Well, as much as I want to keep moving forward and scouting this area out for next year, which basically is all I'm doing right now. I'm throwing out some yelps, but I ain't hearing nothing. As much as I want to keep going forward, the temperature's starting to drop, the wind's picking up, and clouds are moving in, so that weather front I was expecting might be on its way in soon. Been looking around for sign, haven't seen any. I suspect they're probably up in the hills, not down here on the trail. I haven't seen much large roostable trees yet. I'll bet you there's some further in yet. But thus far I've seen more sign in the Second Creek area than the First Creek area. So I think I'm gonna back out to the Forerunner and work my way down the ridge and find myself someplace to camp tonight, and preferably somewhere that's not too far from these really large cottonwoods. Maybe I could just kind of sit there and eat my dinner and see if anything roosts in from a reasonable distance where I can just glass them. Yeah, it's about 5 o'clock right now, and that 2:30 wake up is starting to catch up with me. Actually, it caught up with me a while ago. I sat down earlier and did some calling, and I about fell asleep underneath the tree in about 5 minutes. So the only thing that's keeping me awake right now is just keeping moving. Anyway, yeah, I think right now my best bet is just to see if anything comes into those trees tonight, if I can stay awake. Low bridge. Just what I needed. More pinstriping. this is the other reason why I would like to bring the 4Runner. Easy camping. Safe to say I'm in for the night. I'll check on a roost in the morning. If they're there, I'll watch where they fly down. If they're not, I might just go home. I am beat. I think I've walked probably about at least 12 miles today. And I'm just out of gas. Alright, so it's about 5 o'clock. I slept really good last night. I think... well, the largest, most sheltered trees, big old cottonwoods, are, I don't know, quarter mile down the road. I'm going to grab myself just a protein bar and a shake. Just to get something in my stomach. And take me a little walk down there and see if there's anything in there or not. Since the camera ain't going to see anything anyway, I'm just going to leave it here. Rained a little bit, but not as much as I was expecting, but I can see the clouds to the moon, and it's probably going to rain a lot more today. Anyway, I'm going to go check out the possible roost area. If I don't see nothing, I'm liable to just call it quits for the season. If I do see something, then I might be chasing birds today. We'll see. Well, it's 8:38 and I was gone a lot longer than I had planned to be. I mean, I didn't bring my camera. I didn't even bring my phone with my GPS on it. I just grabbed my shotgun, my turkey vest, just because it gave me something to sit on, and my binoculars, and I walked down the road, and the roosts are right on the other side of this little ridge right here, right in this side, right over there. So I walked over there, not really expecting to see anything, turned the high beam on my headlamp, and there was right about in the middle, I counted 3 on this one tree, and their eyes were glowing, and they're just kind of sitting there staring at me, and so I backed off for a little bit, and then I heard some putting, so I backed off even further, about 150 yards, to where I could see the whole, both slopes. And I just sat there with my eyes glued to the binoculars. I counted at least 8 birds. Much to my surprise, they were mostly toms and jakes. I saw a few hens, but looked like they're mostly toms. There was at least 8, or probably closer to 10 to 12 birds, because I waited till the 8 that I saw flew down. They flew down, and after they flew down, I, as quietly as I could, slipped the shell on my shotgun, because I haven't chambered around yet, and I started walking around to where they had flew down at. I thought, well, maybe I'll get one, maybe I won't. Chances are I won't. And as I did that, a couple more flew down, and they saw me, so they started putting. And once they flew down, I started, as I walked around, I can hear them off to my left. They're putting their way right up that ridge. And so I followed them as fast as I could. I hauled butt up that hill right after them. And when I got to the top, it's like, I swear that it felt like my heart was going to explode out the back of my neck. When I got to the top, I could hear some I was up there. When I got there, I could hear some off that way, and funny enough, I hear some off in the valley the other way, which I thought was weird. So I got to the top, I came around this one tree, and there with about 15 yards, they had two hens sitting there staring at me. So I froze, thinking maybe a tom might not be that far behind them. So I froze, and they kind of stared at me for a little bit, and they went back to pecking and working their way around, and I literally just sat there frozen. Nothing else came around, so I walked out around those hens up to about the middle of that ridge, and I found an old blind someone had put up there, one of those Ameristep cheapo blinds. So obviously, and it was facing in the direction of the roost. That thing was flat, but so obviously these birds have been following this pattern for a while. If someone set up a blind up there covering a field, it was a few years old. So I could hear some turkeys over that direction, and so I went in that direction, and next thing I knew, I had one group, what sounded like one over here, and another one way over there. And what surprised me is how much ground they covered pretty fast, and how spread out they were. So after that, it turned into a cat and mouse game. I sat and I tried to call, and sounded like this one bird was getting closer, so I worked my way towards him, and then sounded like the other, then he shut up for a while, and it sounded like the other bird was getting closer, so I worked my way back to him, and then the other one started climbing up again, and he shut up, so I worked my way back to him. So after a while, I realized it wasn't me working the turkeys, it was the turkeys working me. And so I sat down for a while, and just to see if any of them would come in. And something was close, because I didn't see anything, but I just barely scratched my head. And right after that, I'd say maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds after that, I heard some putting. So something must have been in close, and I just that little bit of movement I did probably blew it. I did not see a thing though, so he must have been in the weeds, and he saw me, but I didn't see him. Yeah, it just kept going back and forth like that all morning till like about 7:45. They all magically shut up. Shortly after that, the temperature dropped. Starting to get, and the winds picked up. I think there's a storm blowing in from that direction right there. Oh man, that was exciting. I didn't get one, but man, that got me going. I had all but given up this morning, and the next thing I knew, I was hoofing it like a goat up that ridge as fast as I could. But yeah, there's a lot of toms here. But after they shut up, I just don't think there's any way I'm going to find them this late this season, and I got to get heading home soon anyway. But yeah, that gave me the pick me up I needed. I didn't get to hang my tag on one, but that definitely gave me some excitement, some well needed excitement, because I was not feeling the love. But now I think I know I might put in for limited entry. I'm sitting on a couple limited entry points, and I might put in for this area next year. But just the fact that there's a blind up there, an old blind that was flattened out, tells me that, and facing in the direction of the roost, tells me that these birds follow this pattern often enough. It takes me a couple days. I swear, no matter where I go, it takes me about a day and a half before I find out where they were. I should have just, I don't know. Well, I got here late yesterday, so I didn't really have much of a choice. But had I gotten here early and I saw those roosts, next year I see anything like that, that's the first thing I'm going to do. You got to find the roost. Not necessarily to shoot them off of the limb, but which isn't legal anyway, but you have to know which direction they're going. If you know which direction they're going, then that gives you a leg up. But if you don't know which direction you're going, then you're just going to be walking around aimlessly looking for scat like I was all day yesterday. So I don't know what else to say, man. I didn't get to hang my tag on it, but I think I'm ending the season on a good note. It's just enough to get me to come back next year. Yeah, I might have a score to settle. Oh boy. But yeah, man, those birds worked me. I didn't work them, they worked me. I could not believe how many there are. I could definitely tell the difference between a Jake and a Tom. When you have them right there side by side and they're gobbling, you can tell the difference in their. You can tell the difference in their gobble. And I had never experienced that before. This is my third spring, but I hadn't experienced that situation before, where I was literally surrounded by turkeys. I couldn't see them, but I could hear them. And I don't know, man, they worked me. Not much else to say. They worked me. But well, it's time to jump in the truck and drive on out of here. Now I have to go way down that way because that stupid gate is locked over that way. So I have to go clear out and around just to get back in here, if I don't feel like walking too much. Well, I guess that's it. That's the end of the spring 2019 spring turkey hunt. I didn't get to hang my tag on one, but you know, it's not just about hanging the tag on the bird. It's just getting out here and living. It's the adventure of it, the excitement. And I'll be back next year. Maybe not here, well, most likely here, but it's definitely somewhere. All that's left to do now for this year is maybe some scouting in the summertime, and then the fall big game hunt. I didn't draw any tags this year. I didn't think I would. So I'll probably be doing a multi-season spike elk tag. Ain't nothing else for that, but hey, you never know, I might get lucky. Win the antler lottery. Okay, well, time to load her up and get out of here.